I've shot with Nikon, Canon, Fuji, Sony at $1,500. I don't know if you can get a better camera than this. So I brought you to the windiest, worst environment ever to record a YouTube video to tell you why I love it so much. Let's get to it. All right, we're gonna start here, and we're gonna start with design. Of course, when we go to design, the Nikon ZF is a beautiful camera. Everybody knows that. In my opinion, it's probably the most beautiful camera on the market. Brass design, dials, fully weather sealed, magnesium body. It just gets the job done. I will say, of course, I like having the grip on it. And I got a few issues with it, but we'll discuss those at the end, my qualms. But for the most part, just a beautifully designed camera, and I don't think you can really beat it. It just makes you want to pick it up and shoot. And for me, any camera that makes you want to shoot, for me, is a win. Like I'm coming from a Nikon Z6 III, and I like the Z6 III. It's a more advanced camera than this, I'll give you that. And if I was strictly a video shooter, I probably wouldn't have switched to the ZF. But as a hybrid shooter, you know, the ZF has pretty much everything I need. And a beautiful package, you can't really beat. The manual dials, the soft shutter release button, which I wish almost every camera would have that. It's a lot. When you pair it with something like the 28mm f2.8 or the 40mm f2 or any of like the Viltrox Air lenses, you know, you're just getting a lot of value and a lot of beauty, I guess is the better word, more than value. Let's talk about the sensor. You got a standard backside illuminated sensor, 24.5 megapixels. I'm using my phone for notes if you're wondering. Excellent dynamic range, solid in low light. I don't feel like I lose anything versus Z6 III. I actually feel like you gain something in the lower ISO. So I'd say excellent dynamic range, excellent low light performance. 14-bit RAW files, of course. You got different options if you want to go full RAW, etc. Standard stuff. I'm not going to get into all the specs of this thing. Just a good camera. 8 stops of IBIS, so that's another thing for me as a run and gun shooter. Just made me confident to do what I do. And again, I'm not a video guy. I do video, but I'm not like primarily a video guy, but I'm confident shooting video with this camera, and for me, that's a major thing. You're gonna need the grip with it, of course. I guess this kind of goes back to ergonomics. Like, don't expect to be doing vertical video with this without the grip. Like, you're gonna look crazy out there. All right. Now we're talking autofocus. I don't feel like I lose. Oops, excuse, that's a bad shot, huh? Whatever, crouch down here. I don't feel like I lose anything versus Z6 III when it comes to autofocus. I also don't feel like I gain anything. They say it's the same performance from the Z8 and Z9. Again, I've never used those, so I can't tell you 100% whether that's true or not true. But again, you're getting solid autofocus. Your pointed is going to be in focus. Now, again, I don't think it's as good as the Canon R3 that I had previously, or like a Sony A7 IV. I'm just being honest. I think it beats Panasonic. It beats Fuji, but again, it doesn't beat those other big dogs. And it's, you know, it just kind of is what it is. It's good enough. Like, I never really find myself, and I was actually a little bit impressed with it because I went and shot a football game and it's finding eyes in the helmets. And I'm just like, you know, again, I don't know if it actually sees the eyes or if it's just kind of guessing where it thinks the eyes are, but to me, that was impressive because, again, how much more do you really want? If you can't figure out how to work an autofocus system, it's not the camera's fault, it's your fault. Work with the system, work with its limitations, and figure it out. Oop. I'm overexposed. I don't know. One take, though. Now we talking video. As for video, it gets the job done. 4K 60, some crop, of course. 4K 30, 4K 24, the basics. 10-bit video files in there. Haven't tried grading it, but I can't really see how it'd have any issues. Flip out screen for the vloggers. Again, like I said before, 8 stops of IBIS. Just pretty good. I mean, it's basically a Z6 II with a better autofocus. You know, I had the Z6 II before, thought it was a great camera, liked using it, and yeah, It's pretty much similar to that, but again, just much better autofocus because you have the same processor from the Z8 and Z9. Yeah, as a running gun, there's only like a couple complaints I would have for it, but I'm gonna save that to the end. But for the most part, it's pretty good, and I really can't complain about it too much. All right. Quick shout out to the tripod. I got this when I bought this old videotape camera thingy. Yeah, and I don't know, that thing's sturdy as ever. It's heavy as hell, but that joint's sturdy. In case you're wondering, yes, this is all one take also. Handling and experience, of course, it goes back to the initial stuff. The feel is great. It feels good in the hands. Dials feel great, feels good balance, great for hybrids. Who's this camera for? I would say this camera's for the street photographer that wants something to carry every day, the dads out there in the world, the guy who is a photographer, like a professional photographer. This camera will get the job done. It's pretty much a well-balanced camera in a vintage camera body. There's not too much you're missing here, honestly. It's getting most of the jobs done. Who else is it for? Content creators, people who are coming from like shooting actual film cameras who want that feel, or big time one is Fuji shooters who just want a little bit more image quality, you know? Sometimes I love Fuji, but sometimes you just want a little bit more. So just a well-balanced camera that just looks absolutely stunning. Now for the downsides, hold up. I got a couple here. Not a lot, but a couple things in my opinion. The 4K 60 crop. You know, some people don't care, some people care. So I gotta put it as a downside. You know, to me it's not the end of the world, I can get by, but to some people that's a big deal. Not the lightest if you're trying to have a travel setup or something everyday carry. Honestly, for me, it's good enough to be an everyday carry, but for some people, they're gonna say it's too heavy. Like I could see having this and then also having like a GX85 or something on the side. I didn't love, like when you get it, the touchscreen is just real finicky. So I had to turn that off instantly. So when you shooting with flash, there's like a starlight view mode. I'm gonna take a picture, put it up here now. So basically if I'm shooting it in darkness and my exposure is dark, because again, I'm using a flash to light up my subject here, everything is dark even when you shoot the photo. Like I've shot with Canon before and everything will be dark, but when I hold down the shutter button to get focus, everything lightens up so you can see and compose and see what you're looking at. But this camera, you either have it on or off. There's no in between. So I wish they had a setting where I could change that and, you know, of course, have an in between. Oh yeah, sometime in video, well, like this is one thing. So Fuji has like the touchscreen controls, so you can, I don't know what the proper term is, I'll find it out and put it up here. But basically, so I'm using my dials for photo, and in video, I use the touchscreen. So that way, like, for example, if you're flicking back and forth between photo and video, and you have your shutter speed dial set at 5,000, you gotta switch it all the way back to 50 every single time you go back and forth, which to me is annoying. But if you just leave them on the C, like the automatic mode, where your dials control it, you can go back and forth. So me as a hybrid shooter who does photo and video, I basically leave those dials there and then I leave the actual manual dials on the C and I just control it with the front and rear dial there. SD cards, I had an issue with the SD card, the main SD card, where I was at an event and basically it just said you can't use this SD card, like an issue with the SD, and it threw me off. But luckily I had the micro SD, and I know a lot of you guys have been complaining about why is there not dual cards, micro SD, etc. But that micro SD, you can record the highest frame rate of the camera to it. So like, what's the issue? Everything you can do with the big SD card, you can record the little SD. I know they're technically, I've heard, more prone to failing, but at the same time, would you rather have it or not have it? And I was in a situation where I was at an event shooting and I was able to flip to the second SD card and keep shooting in literally seconds, which again saved me when I had an SD card having issues. But I pulled it out, it was hot for some reason, not super hot, but a little hot. I pulled it out for a couple of seconds and then put it back in and kept shooting, no issues. But again, having that micro SD card kind of gave me an opportunity to keep shooting and keep rolling. The other thing is you need a grip with this camera, of course. And oh, my last gripe, manual focusing. Like the manual focus is real finicky on these lenses. So like you're going to shoot and you may bump it ever so slightly, and then you know you're manually focusing. Now you gotta, it's not a big deal, but if you just half press the shutter, you can get back to whatever autofocus mode you're in. But at the same time, it's like, why is it so finicky, you know? But I guess some people would like that, but I don't know. I just wish I had a way I could make it. I know it's focused by wire, but I wish I had a way I could make it a little less finicky. So I just turned that off. Something to think about. But other than that, these are my 1 week review of the Nikon ZF. Again, in the worst environment ever. And this may be the biggest advertisement for this mic ever. These are the Ceramic B2s or whatever the hell they're called. So if I sound good right now, you need to go and buy that mic right there, because I'm telling you, I'm in the windiest situation ever. Listen, man, I'm gonna just tell you now, just buy the camera. If you're at home sitting wondering, should I do it, should I not do it, just buy the camera. Don't ask no questions. Just buy the camera, man. It looks gorgeous, feels good in the hands, weather sealed, take it everywhere. You're gonna get compliments. I know the goal isn't to get compliments, but if you have a camera on you that makes you want to carry it with you more because it looks good, like, you're gonna shoot more. And if you shoot more, isn't that gonna make you better? Question of the day. Just one take, man. We're going back to the whip. Just one take. I'm trying to tell you guys, like, look at this. Look at this. Look at the swinging, folks.